How do you achieve anything you go after, even in the toughest times? Let's hear what Grant Cardone has to say right here, right now on the Scale or Fail show. CEO of CardoneCapital, international speaker, entrepreneur, and author of the 10-Time Rule and creator of 21 best-selling business programs, Grant Cardone owns and operates 7 privately held companies and a $1.5 billion portfolio of multifamily properties. Named the #1 marketer to watch by Forbes Magazine, Cardone is also the founder of the 10-Time Movement and the 10-Time Growth Conference, the world's largest business and entrepreneur conference. Grant is the author of several best-selling and award-winning books like If You're Not First, You Are Last, and Sell or Be Sold. And he's a regular guest and contributor to major network outlets like Fox News, Fox Business, CNBC, MSNBC, Forbes, and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Grant. How are you doing? I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for that nice introduction. And your backdrop's gorgeous. And all I have is my buddy back here, my gorilla friend.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So,
yeah, and so don't let your audience like be deceived by anything they hear. You know, the gorilla is they can crush a skull, but they can also pick up petal off a flower without damaging it. So there's a lot of range. That's kind of the story of my life right now. So I'm doing good. I'm a little depressed, as I was telling you before this, because of this COVID thing and the way all the mixed and confusing information. And it seems like they keep changing the rules and the expectations. First is flatten the curve. If we can just flatten the curve, then we're fine. And now it's like, let's get a cure. I don't need a cure. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'd love to talk about this because you're very vocal about everything that's going on. You're like, we're opening. So I'd like to tell me what's going on in your head around everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, it's like when this thing started, I got sick in February, late February. We were about to do our annual conference, which these are massive events that we do once a year. We did 34,000 people in Miami Marlins Stadium 2 years ago, and then 13,000 people this year in Mandalay Bay. And in February, third week in February, I had just finished 7 cities. It's a free event. I'm going around helping people around the United States that maybe can't afford to go to my events. My events are expensive. And I'm the first one that says they're expensive. Some of the seats are 20 grand in the events. And so we did a free event. I did 7 cities on the West Coast: San Diego, LA, Vegas, Arizona, Phoenix, and up the Northern California. So we met literally 22,000, 23,000 people, took a lot of pictures, touched a lot of people. I came home and got sick. And it was a weird kind of sick. It felt almost synthetic, like, cause there was 2 days of my life where I don't remember a Monday and a Tuesday.
Wow.
But here we are now, 3 or 4 months later. Now they got a name for this thing, Corona. I don't know if I had it or didn't have it. It doesn't matter to me. And the deal was flatten the curve, make sure make sure we got enough ventilators and masks and blah, blah, blah. Well, we got all that now. Make sure we're testing people. Okay, good. Well, now they're changing the rules and saying, no, we need a cure. I don't need a cure. I want to go back to business. I want to go back to doing business. I want to go back to meeting people. I want to go back to hugging. I want to go back to shaking hands. I'll do all those things.
Right.
And I want to go back to working in an office. I don't want to do the remote thing.
Well, I mean, we don't have a cure for most diseases, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have a cure for the flu. We don't have a cure for cancer. I mean, I don't know. We could be looking forever for that.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't ever want anybody to get hurt or die, then we would never leave our homes. So I
Yeah.
don't know how many people die from car wrecks every year, drug addiction. It's got to be in the hundreds of thousands of both those. And it happens every year, year after year after year. So
Yeah.
I know some people are saying, yeah, but Grant, you're just thinking about your business. I'm thinking about Americans. And I'm thinking also about world businesses, not just the USA. There's going to be 1.5 billion people without a job because of this event.
Yeah. No, it's crushing on so many levels. And I know that there's suicide rates are up. Domestic violence is up. Drug addiction is up. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I think the sense.
Because work is a really important thing for people. And working with a team is important. Like, I think people are underestimating the importance of being social and connected and having a purpose and a mission and having obstacles and challenges as a team, not as an individual. And I think that those things, they push off depression. And I started this by saying, I'm depressed right now. I want my team back together. Yeah. And I am talking about me. I understand this is selfish. Okay. But I can't imagine that other people are not experiencing the same thing I am right now.
Well, the people I'm talking to are feeling that too. We are a species of connection. We are meant to connect with one another, right? So this is definitely against our natural order. And I think the not knowing is tough too. If we knew, okay, in 30 days, in 60 days, and, we're going to be, but there isn't. There's this phase and
well,
that phase.
It was supposed to be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. We did, but it keeps getting moved out. Right. It's like we're in that Alice in Wonderland. What part of the trip are we on right now? With the mystery that you talk about is not good for people to not know. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, let's back up a little bit, because some of the people watching this, it's may not know who you are. So I want to just give a little bit of a backstory, and I love where this conversation is going. I'd like to talk a little bit more about it. And I know there's a ton of controversy out there. And so, I love the fact that you're so vocal. But let's back up a little bit, because, you've got this $1 billion enterprise. You've been a business owner for how many years have you had?
I've been in business for myself for 32 years.
Okay. We're about the same number of years there.
Yeah.
And so did you grow
You're a
up
lot younger than I am, though. I can tell that.
Well, you're very kind.
Yeah.
But
no,
I don't know if that's actually true. I'm not going to say my age here right now, but.
Well, I'm 62, so I would bet $10,000 you're younger than me.
Okay. Maybe a little bit younger than that.
Yeah.
But not a whole heck of a lot. So, did you always know you wanted to be a business owner?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I was forced into being a business owner because I kept getting fired from jobs. So I was 30 years old, and kind of just ran out of landing space on the job that I had. I was working for a guy up in Chicago, and there was no place for me to go in his company. He didn't create any way for me to evolve in the company. And so I left there because I started experiencing burnout, and I thought I was working too hard, but it wasn't actually working too hard. It was, again, I didn't have a mission anymore. I had already achieved all the missions a couple times, and I was like, I need a new challenge. And there was no new challenges at his company. I wasn't looking to be a partner. I wasn't looking to be the boss. I wasn't looking to be the decision maker. I was already a decision maker in my own little space every day, in making things go right in my world and in my job. And I was happy with the job. But at some point, when you've run the same game and if you ride the same ride enough times, you're gonna be like, I don't need to do that ride anymore.
Right.
And so I came home. I was living in Lake Charles, Louisiana at the time. I was traveling. He was in Chicago, and I was traveling 200 days of the year. And came home and said, "Hey, I gotta figure out what I'm going to do." and I had an idea for how I would change the way people sell things. This is 30 years. So what is that? 1990? Yeah. It was a long time ago. And I wrote a book about it. I never published the book, didn't release the book, but I wrote it as a course book, and I went around and started teaching and selling and showing people another way to do things. It was extremely resisted. You know, new ideas tend to be resisted.
Right.
And it took me 3 years to ever make any money. I went backwards from my other job to this job to this new job. It was terrible. I probably shouldn't have done it. It was a bad idea. It was not scalable. But, you know, 32 years later now, somehow it all kind of worked its way out.
Right. But so that first 3 years that you were not making any traction at all, where did that inner drive come from that kept you on that track?
There was nothing else I could do. Nobody else was going to hire me. I had lost 6 or 7 jobs before this. I remember I worked at McDonald's when I was 16. I lost that job. Worked at a furniture store when I was 17. Lost that job. I was fired. I was like, you have to get off the premises. I worked for a car dealer. I was fired from a car dealer 5 or 6 times. I mean, car dealers were hiring anybody. And so I've always been a little bit of a problem. I have a big mouth. I'm very opinionated. And, you know, as you can tell after 3 or 4 minutes. So.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. No, I think look, I couldn't hold a job for more than 2 weeks myself. And so I think that, you know, some people are they're born entrepreneurs, right? And I know for me, I had to figure the thing out or else, you know, I was going to be in big trouble. So you clearly figured things out. And, you know, you built this massive enterprise. Was there ever along the way that you thought, holy cow, I might lose this whole thing? Does that ever come up for you?
Oh yeah. Like, first of all, I don't think I've built, I appreciate what you're saying about it being this massive thing. It doesn't feel massive to me. It feels really small and, you know, in many ways, very disappointing. I mean, one of the driving forces of my life, I've always been a bit disappointed with Grant, and I've always felt like I'm underplaying my ability. You know, probably why I have the gorilla. When I saw this piece of art, I was like, I got to have that piece of art. I don't know why I got to have that piece of art. I got to have that piece of art. He's so big, you know, he's so like, he takes up so much space. And so that's what I've always wanted from him. My dad died when I was 10 years old, left a big void in my life. And I wanted to be somebody. So when 2008 happened, fast forwarding, like I had 3 businesses. I had a little bit of real estate. This is only 12 years ago.
Yeah.
I had maybe I think I had 300 apartments and 2 companies. The 2 companies got just slaughtered. I was living in Los Angeles. I just left San Diego. I lived in La Jolla, moved up to LA. 2008 happens. The 2 companies got slaughtered. I was officing out of my home. Okay. That was a mistake. And buying a little bit of real estate, dabbling. And then I thought I was doing pretty good, but then when the economy hit in 2008, I was like, oh my God, what was I thinking? I've been at risk the whole time and didn't know it.
Yeah.
Because when these kind of events happen, it actually shows you how solvent your business really is or isn't. And so I was at risk then. I was terrified. I mean, to answer your question, I was terrified in 2008 that I would lose everything and swore at that time this would never happen to me again, you know, and that the next time right now, when it happened again, I'm going to be at least big enough to where I don't have to worry about it all going away. Now we're in this, I'm like, could it all go away? I don't think so, but it's certainly a scary time right now.
Yeah, it is. It is. And so when these fears come up, or, you know, even in 2008 and a little bit of a hint of it now, I mean, you seem like the type of person, like from the outside looking in, that you handle these tough emotions. But, you know, how do you deal with that when that comes up? Are you the type, I mean, do you go inward? Are you, how do you process that?
You know, I think I try everything on the available range of tones and choices of energy. You know, like I go through grief. I go through, like when 2020 happened, the amount of grief that hit me immediately was phenomenal amounts. Cause I was like, I had literally just walked off a stage with Kevin Hart, John Travolta, Floyd Mayweather, Usher. Spent 3 days with these guys, top of the food chain guys, had a perfect event. And I went off on the secret project that will be disclosed in October of this year. And I'm like, dude, I'm telling my wife, we are that far from like literally breaking through the stratosphere. Finally gonna make it. And then boom, this thing happened. You know, and I'm like, oh my God, why is this? Am I the most unlucky person in the world or what? So the first thing that hit me was grief. And then I'm like, okay, what is this similar to? And then I started putting this is where the entrepreneur with a little bit of experience, particularly if you have a lot of awareness, I was able to tap into 2008 and 9/11 and 1990. And I'm like, okay, what do I need to do right now? Grant, you need to go to acceptance as fast as you can. This is going to be the worst economic event of your lifetime. So this is basically what I played out in my head.
Okay.
Go to zero and everything. Assume that you lose everything. You're going to lose 7,000 units. You're going to lose 7 companies. You're going to lose every penny you have. Okay. Go to zero. Now, where are you? Who are you? And what are you going to do to rebuild it?
Right.
So that's what I did in the beginning. But I mean, between me and you, I still wake up every day like, I cannot believe this is still here. I cannot believe this is, I still go back and forth, up and down.
Yeah, I think
my exteriors probably aren't completely demonstrating what goes on inside.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, I think that Rockefeller said something like, as long as you know that you could rebuild,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that part of you that built this could do it again. So there, you know, that going to zero is probably a good exercise. Like, okay, if that happened, what would I do?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, who wants to do that though? You know, like it's a hard thing to confront.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you know, 35 million people right now are having to go through that.
Yeah.
And it kills me. It kills me to watch. I remember when my dad died, you know, we were a good middle-class family. We'd done well. My dad had done everything right, saved his money, paid off his debts, worked hard. If he said he was going to do something, he did something. Everything that a good person would do, he played by those rules, paid the house off, etc. He dies at 52. My mom on a Thursday, my mom on Monday had already sold the house, cashed in the life insurance, paid off anything that was left to be paid off. She did, downsized us from the country house to back in the city. Like this all happened in a week. When my mother should have been experiencing grief, she was making moves.
Yeah.
But the moves were contraction. They were to get smaller. And when I saw that, I'm like, man, I didn't know what to do. I didn't actually know what was going on. I'm 10 years old.
Right.
But by the time I'm 15, I know what's going on. I'm like, okay, she's playing defense. And by the time I was 16, I said, I'm going to get rich one day, so I don't have to play defense.
Yeah.
Thinking if I could get rich enough one day, I would never be on defense, but it's actually not true. Okay. You play a bigger game of defense.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're playing to win, not to not lose.
Yeah, exactly. My mom was playing to not lose.
Right. So this for you, because for you, it's all about that bigger level, the 10 times. And I mean, ultimately, that's what business owners want, right? They want to double, quadruple, and more their business. But do you think for you, is there something internally with that loss you had with your dad's, you know, losing a father? Your father represents that direction in life. Do you ever think that there's going to be a level where you would say, okay, I'm here? Or is it for you just that always that next sense of accomplishment?
Well, you know, my dad, it's a good question. I lost my dad 52 years ago. So, I mean, there's got to be something else going on at this point now, right? Like something else has got to be driving the bus. So let me just go back to the first thing you said. I don't think most business owners want to actually 10X their business or 4X or 2X. I think most business owners actually just want to make a little more money than they made when they were working for someone. I think a lot of people actually get into business thinking, okay, I'm just going to replace the 50,000 I couldn't live on with another 50,000, but I'm going to be the boss now. So it's a terrible proposition. By definition, it's not even what an entrepreneur does. An entrepreneur, by definition, organizes businesses and takes on more than greater than normal risk, in order to do so. So most people that start businesses are basically just managers. They're just managing an idea. And you're not adding risk to it. Risk is to me, risk is time and money and liability. And
well,
so
it's not just managing, it's often the business is managing them.
Yeah, exactly. The business never got big enough. They're like, I'm not going to work for Jazz. I'm not going to work for Coca-Cola. I'm not going to work for Twitter. I'm going to work for myself. You're going to hate yourself. Like you're better off working for somebody else for 50 grand. Like I don't, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk was with me one day. He's like, you know, I'd rather somebody that works for 50 grand work for themselves. I'm like, nobody should work for 50 grand. It's stupid. You can't live on 50 grand, Gary. Like you live in New York. How are you going to live on 50 grand in San Diego, Los Angeles, Miami, San Francisco, anywhere in the world? You need money. People need money. And so I think too many business owners organize a business because they want their own personal freedom or they want to work for themselves or some like that would never drove me. The only reason I got in business was to make money. Like when I was a salesman, before I owned my own company, the only reason I went to work every day was to make money. Like I just wanted the money attached with the business. And now I know a lot of guys don't talk about this money thing very much. And they're like, oh, I do it. I'm purpose driven and I'm on my why and I got a mission. My mission has been money the entire time. And unfortunately, I made a bunch of poor decisions because I wasn't correctly educated. Because I should have ended up where there was real money, not these little spaces that I'm in.
So what does the money represent though? Is it like a scorecard for you or is it freedom?
It represents choices. I want choices. I don't want to feel like I have to sell the house. Like my mom had to sell the house. She had to dump the house. My dad finally bought the dream house. Okay. He worked for money and money's useless. I mean, it's not, the money is useless, right? What can I do with it though? And so if you don't have money, you know, I know money won't make you happy. I have not been seeking happiness this entire time. I've been seeking freedom and choices. I don't want to be pinned down. That's why I'm going to reopen my offices Monday, whether the government lets me open it up or not. I'm like, I want my choices.
Right.
I'm willing to get sick. You know, I want the right to get sick. I speed. I admit that I speed when I drive my car. Okay. I don't mind getting the ticket. I understand. And I grew up where I didn't have those choices. I can't get the ticket. I can't buy a new car. I can't buy fruit, organic fruit. I can't buy good water because it's too expensive. I can't go to Starbucks because, you know, I'll save $4 a day and over the next 30 years, maybe one day I'll have some money in a retirement account. That's how I was brought up.
Right. Yeah. So you're doing the exact opposite. It's almost as if I don't know, not rebelling isn't the word, but you
No,
freed yourself and you're like, you're not going to pin me back down to the way that I was.
It didn't. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I
Yeah.
tried. It doesn't work. The middle class, this middle class thinking, which to me is best describes what I'm talking about. Save your money, pay off your house, conserve, protect, get a good job, make just enough money. It doesn't work. It's failing Americans every single day. And it failed my dad. My dad did everything right. He did exactly what the middle class dream is, and it failed him. And so I'm not rebelling. I'm like, oh, that formula just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know, that thing does not fit into the freedom game.
Well, what about this idea of stepping into that higher version of yourself? Because if you're stretching yourself, because the middle class often represents a comfort zone.
Yeah.
Right. So you're stepping outside of that comfort zone. That's where the risk is. What about that whole element for you? I mean, that's exciting, right? There's the adrenaline with that.
Yeah. But, you know, I'm not really an adrenaline guy. I mean, I'm really like you know, I really want sure things. I just want sure things. I'm way more conservative than anybody. Financially, I'm extremely conservative. You know, now there are times where I'll take risks. Like we rented the Miami Marlins Stadium. That was a $7 million event. I walked into the place and said, I'll take the whole place. And I'm gonna fill it up on Super Bowl weekend 2017. Everybody's like, you're crazy, dude. I said, no, I know I can do this. To me that I knew I was stretching I was stretching possibilities, but I really truly believed I could do it.
Right.
And
So I think that's something I'd like to dive into just for a second, because I think that's so powerful, having that belief, you know, before it actually happens. It's almost like you're seeing the unseen. Can you talk about that sense of belief? Because I think, you know, business owners would love to feel that, or anyone actually going after their dreams. And I think they doubt themselves so much that they don't take those leaps.
yeah, so I mean, I don't know how you develop that. I mean, it's definitely self-development. Like I spent a lot of time on Grant, on my personal development, on my belief in myself. You used a word earlier that like I use it like constantly, mystery. You don't want to be a mystery. You can't know until you die. You can't know the truth about that. You can't know what happens over here. You just got to trust. I don't want to trust anything. I want to know. I'm not interested in a faith. I'm interested in knowing what is the answer. I truly believe that if I look hard enough, I can find the answer to anything. So for me, the 34,000 people, it's not some kind of like esoteric concept for me. It's me doing math, okay? There's 6 billion people on the planet. First of all, everybody's telling me I shouldn't do it. So that by itself was an indicator. Oh shit. Because most people, the masses are wrong most of the time. When I see everybody putting on masks, I'm like, that mask cannot be good for people.
Yeah.
You know, when I see everybody joining the American Airlines award program because they want their free miles and they want their free trip, and look where masses of people go, it cannot be good for you. Those are businesses, they're institutions, they're funding something massive. So when everybody told me no, that's crazy, 34,000 people, and then they said Super Bowl weekend, that's insane. I'm thinking to myself, I got this weird kind of logic that's like, okay, well, that's what nobody's going to do an event on Super Bowl weekend except us. And then the third thing was, if I take this risk and pull it off, people will be talking about it forever, right? It'll be free advertising forever. And the fourth thing is, Grant, if you don't quit, I have this datum that I live by. If I don't quit, I cannot fail.
Yeah.
And so I might have to tweak and I might have to move but if I don't quit, it's impossible for me to fail if I don't quit. And I just knew that I would not quit until we filled up every seat. So we spent the next 364 days filling up every seat in the arena.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, that's quite an accomplishment. And I love what you just said, because I have always felt that most failures are when somebody quits,
Yes.
you know? And so, and you said earlier, there's always a solution. It might be around the corner, it might be over the top, but you just don't take no for an answer. And I think that is a key ingredient. I think you definitely, embody that, right?
Yeah. But to do that, again, this goes back to when I quit that job and started working for myself. The payoff has to be significant enough. To me, it's not easy enough to tell people, oh, just don't quit. Most people should quit because there's no payoff. There has to be a payoff significant enough. This is why so many people are happy working from home right now. They're like, yeah, man, I like working from home. I love this. I love being at home. Yeah, of course, because you're not going for a payoff. But if there's a big payoff and you understand there's no big payoffs ever going to happen to your house. Yeah. You're never going to open your refrigerator up and see freedom. Yeah. You're not going to go lay on your couch and reach down. You might find some leftover pistachios from 2 months ago, but you're not going to find, your dreams are not going to, nobody's going to come to your house.
Yeah.
And bring you a package of dreams and freedom and possibility. And, so people are getting comfortable right now because they don't want to confront the situation that, or maybe confront the responsibility that, hey, maybe life is not what you thought it was. This Corona thing and people being at home, 35 million people being without work, the government sending you money now. Like, it's been shocking to me how many people have just taken this and said, okay, I'll stay home.
Yeah.
Because, and I think the reason is because the payoff, there's nothing they're going for that's big enough that says, I can't stay at home.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sensing now a lot of restlessness. I think people were like, okay, this is going to happen 3-4 weeks. Now they're just itching to get back out there, and I know that I'm feeling that. So, but yeah, I mean, I think being home, that is the ultimate comfort zone,
Yeah.
The couch potato.
Yeah.
So,
and you have a beautiful setting. I just want to go sit in your living room and hang out with you.
Yeah. Well, it's, I'm very grateful. We do have a nice place here, and it's a retreat. I actually have a flying trapeze on my property. So,
oh, wow.
I'm a trapeze artist. So I've been doing a lot of that lately, but,
where in San Diego do you live?
I am in Hain, which is,
yeah, I know where that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. Horse country.
Yeah.
So, but so what advice do you give business owners right now? I mean, that are like, not just to weather the storm, but how do you get out of this stronger than when you went in?
Yeah, I would go to zero. Whether you go to zero or not is not important, but you need to mentally reboot the entire business now. You need to assume there's no business on the other side of this. That will become true for many people, by the way, maybe more than ever in the history of the United States of America. 230 years we've been around. This is going to probably be a reboot for the entire economic system and maybe the whole country. So California will probably go busted. Illinois will go busted. These were already states that were in trouble. New York, New Jersey, like the massive problems in this country, like severe, that will affect the entire planet. So I would tell business owners, hey, you knew you were in trouble before this. Your numbers said it. We were going through economic growth that was spiking like this, but your business was growing like this, that like you were literally defying the trip. So if you were having a flat line going into this, you were in trouble. You just weren't confronting it. You weren't taking responsibility for it. You were crossing your fingers and hoping, let me get another 3 or 4 years out of it. That's many industries that have been going through that scenario. Some businesses, like the restaurant businesses, they were on record years, like, oh my God, but they knew underneath that every restaurant owner in America knows restaurants are always at risk.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett, look at Warren. Warren said he would never, ever invest in the airlines, and then he did. But here's what the old man does. Cut the losses, sell the airlines, take our little whip in as fast as we possibly can. He went to zero.
Yeah.
He basically erased his mistake by selling out his situation, takes it off his books, and starts over. He reboots. And that's what the business owner needs to do right now. You need to go to zero. You're starting over. Get to acceptance as fast as you can. Move through the stages of loss as fast as you possibly can. Get to acceptance. Understand that denial and anger and blame and bargaining are just bullshit options. And that emotions will not serve you in this event. You need to move to pure logic, do the math, and reboot your business.
Like really reinvent yourself, diversify,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I run a business coaching company and we mentor business owners all over the world. I mean, the good thing that I will say is we've had clients that had ideas, things they wanted to do, and now this has like been a forced,
Yes.
into action, like,
Yeah.
almost creating new revenue streams in a week because they had to.
Yeah. Compress. Pressure makes diamonds. Threat makes the best of us. And again, this is the problem with everybody being at home. There's no threat at home. And restlessness won't be enough. Okay. Like people need to get angry now. You can't just get stir crazy. Like you need to understand that your freedoms, the freedom to create. Businesses are really artists.
Yeah.
To me, I'm more of an artist than I am a businessman. I'm an actor pretending to be a businessman. I'm writing scripts. I'm a producer. I'm trying to write this story, this movie out. I'm trying to paint this canvas. And
someone's taking your paintbrushes away.
Yeah, they took my paintbrushes, my canvases, I got a nice house. I don't want to be in it every day.
Yeah.
That's not a business. I did that from home. I tried to run a business from home from 30 years old to 45 years old. It does not work. You cannot get big at home. You get smaller at home. You get comfortable at home. You watch TV at home. You eat, you visit Ben and Jerry in the freezer at home, but people need a place to go to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just, we could go on and on with this.
America needs people. America needs people going to work. America needs, like, your city, the state, the county, all depend on those taxes, and they depend on people doing things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's impacting mental health.
Yes.
People AA, they're not able to get together. It's on Zoom. I mean, someone is relapsing on drugs. Being on Zoom is not going to cut it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's so far reaching. And I think we won't know the extent of it for quite some time.
No, I think right now there's going to be the negative impacts of this are going to be far greater than the 100,000 people that die because of a virus.
Yeah.
And I don't want anybody to lose anybody any more than anybody else. Look, me going to AA meetings when I was 25 years old, like, saved my life.
Yeah.
So if I came out of a treatment center for drug addiction at 25 years old, if I couldn't have gone to that treatment center, by the way, that place is probably closed.
Yeah. I think they all are.
Yeah.
So my husband's in AA, he's doing meetings on Zoom, but he's sober now. If he was at a time when he wasn't, wow.
Yeah. That fragile place. Yeah.
Devastating.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, we wouldn't be together. Let's just put it that way. So how do you, as we kind of round this out with your team, so you're bringing your team back, how do you motivate your team through this? Where's your head around that?
Yeah, we have a very, very strong culture here. It's almost like a military unit. So it's very, very strong environment. People know when they come to work here, they're like, okay, this is either going to be real good or real bad.
Okay.
But that creates a strong team. And so we've been doing the Zoom thing. We've been doing video for meetings. We have a meeting every single day. You're required to report your statistics daily. People are required to train daily, but still, I don't have people together. So
Yeah.
Monday, 3 days from right now, I don't know when this plays, but 3 days from right now, we'll restart the company, and we'll be not restart the company, but restart working from an office.
Mm-hmm.
Cross our fingers and hope the police don't come arrest me.
But you're doing it anyway.
But hey, if they do, there's worse things than going to jail for a day.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then there are those people that are going to say, "Oh, well, you're putting your employees at risk."
I am putting my employees at risk.
And they're
Because
choosing-
we are at risk.
Yeah.
At risk. Let's just make it official. Living on a goddamn rock that's flying through the universe, spinning, is a risk.
Yeah.
Okay. There's risk of so many things.
We don't know right. We never know really what's going to happen.
No, like you know, I live in Miami. I live on the ocean. There's hurricanes coming this year. We know the hurricanes are coming. Okay. I know there's cancer on this planet. I walk outside, the sun is baking people. People actually go to the beach and try to get this. Okay. Like they try to get the cancer injected into their system. I know I'm aging. I'm 62 years old. I'm running out of this physical unit here is running out of time. So I get in an automobile. There's 66, I don't know, hundreds of thousands, millions of car wrecks every year, tens of thousands of losses every month. 10% of the American, there's probably 33 million drug addicts in this country. We have a damn opioid epidemic in this country that we're not talking about that anymore. That'll kill way more people than the coronavirus will.
Way more.
And it will be here for decades. Because nobody will confront that. We got politicians that are raping and pillaging the United States of America. I'm not worried about some virus. So I will put them at risk. If they don't want the risk, then stay home. But you're not going to feel like part of a team staying home.
Yeah. 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 I mean, there's nothing more powerful than having that face-to-face connection. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see, I'm excited to see what's happening here. I'm hoping we're going to be moving along here pretty quickly. So I think people like you out there being vocal, saying, hey, we're opening, we're moving on, you know, we're expressing our American right here to share our gifts and make a difference in the world with our businesses and give people, you know, an opportunity to have a nice life. That's why they've come to work with you. So,
and people need an example right now, you know, like my only examples are what I see people doing on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
It might be entertaining, but it's not going to make the world better. I need to go, like, even watching Will Smith do something that makes me laugh, or Kevin Hart that makes me chuckle and like, oh, that was funny, right? Yeah, that's a moment, but I need to go do my own thing. And I'm talking about people. People need to go do their own thing. TikTok is not your thing.
Yeah. Well, those of you that are watching right now too, I mean, you know, what are your thoughts about this? Is this, you know, lighting a fire in you to go, hey, you know what? I'm ready to get out there, get my business going again. You know, you've got a lot of people that depend on you. You've got customers that, you know, they want to support your business. You know, where do you stand on this? So I appreciate you, Grant. I appreciate that you're, you know, expressing how you feel and that you're being completely honest and, you know, you're living by what, you know, you're practicing what you preach. So, you know, I think a lot of people are in fear right now, and understandable. I mean, nobody wants anybody to get sick. So please do not misunderstand us here in what we're saying.
Somebody will. You know, somebody will.
Yeah, they will. But the thing is, you're weighing what's the worst evil here too. And
Yeah,
I also think there's, a whole other conversation just about the fear and how we have really, it's a little bit scary. I think there's going to be a lot of PTSD just from the fear
Sure.
that has been, kind of implanted going on there. So, you can't live your life in fear.
Well, you can. It's just not going to turn out very well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming on here and sharing this. I know it's a tough time for everyone. But I know that you are going to come out of this stronger, and I'm excited to see you reinventing, and you're going to help a lot of people, and they need that right now. They need your message. That's what inspires me to do what I'm doing, because I know, like, for business owners, this is their life, and so they need people out there. They need leaders, and all business owners, we need to be standing up and being that leader right now, and help others rise together. So,
and that means, again, taking risk. So running a business is not about planning. It's about taking risk. And so, I invite all the business owners out there that are inspired by this. Hey, go open your business. Be the lady in Dallas, in the salon. She's a hero. She's like, I gotta open my salon. Went to court. You probably saw the whole thing. The judge says, "Oh, you're going to jail for 7 days," because she didn't have the $7,000 in bail. She's like, "Okay, put me to jail." I was inspired by that.
Yeah. So you have heard it here. So wherever you stand, you have your choice. So thank you, Grant.
Hey, you're awesome. Thank you so much for taking interest.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And thanks for speaking your mind and sharing your heart. And so everybody, subscribe to the Scale or Fail Show. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, wherever podcasts are. And until next time, get out there, elevate yourself, speak your mind. There are people out there that need to hear your message. Thanks, everybody. Bye. From my experience, business owners think way too small. In this disruptive marketplace, you have to stay innovative or you won't be here anymore. Business is not easy, but you don't have to do it alone anymore. We take you by the hand every step of the way so that you can finally take those hopes and those dreams and make them a reality. I'm Allison Maslan. I am the founder and CEO of Pinnacle Global Network. We guide and empower business owners around the globe to grow and scale companies that change the world. Pinnacle Global Network is a private mentoring and mastermind network where our business owner clients are partnered with the CEO for private mentoring and small group masterminds, the most amazing live events, and a vibrant community of supportive entrepreneurs. In Pinnacle, we work with business owners that are at the 6, 7, or 8-figure level. They're established business owners that have been running their companies 5, 10, 20, or more years, and they're either stuck at the same level and they just can't get beyond that, or they've been on a great trajectory, but they want a much bigger leap. So my father was my biggest inspiration, and he built the largest chain of women's clothing stores from 1955 to the early 80s. And he had such a passion for his work, and that really rubbed off on me. I started my first business when I was 19 and have built 10 companies over the last 3 decades. And so now in Pinnacle Global Network, I take that wisdom and experience for all those years in business, and I get to pay it forward with my team to help our clients really grow and thrive.
We have an amazing team at Pinnacle Global Network, and it all stems from Allison. Her core values, her vision, her mission in life, and she really has attracted like-minded individuals who have the same vision and mission for our clients.
The team are a bunch of rock stars. These are some of the most talented, diverse, exciting, experienced people you'll ever meet.
They have all grown multi-million-dollar businesses, and they all really care about the client's success.
We know what it's like to start a business. We know what it's like to grow a business. We know what it's like to scale a business. We've been there. We know the ups and downs. We've made a ton of mistakes, and we now get to share the benefit of our experiences with all of our clients.
What clients who work with us can expect is to get all of us. We bring 100% of our heart, our head, our knowledge, our experience, our team to what someone's wanting to solve.
There's a lot of support out there for the startup business owner. So we really focus on the established business owner because something happens, like you get traction in your business and all of a sudden you're the forgotten entrepreneur. Business owners work really hard and they get overwhelmed, they get exhausted. And the truth is that if you're the one that is delivering your product or service, your business cannot scale. And so we help our clients build a team managed company so they're actually able to leave for a good period of time and the business continues to thrive. We work our Scale It method and help them figure out their multiplier so they can replicate themselves and their offering, and their business actually multiplies in profits and the number of people that they impact.
The Pinnacle community is just an incredible tribe of business owners that get together and speak the same language. Having people that are on the same path as you is so incredibly important and so powerful. It's a big part of our program.
When you come in as a business owner, growing a business or scaling a business, it gets lonely at the top. And this is an environment that you are never alone.
We become your advisory board. We actually will stand behind you. So when you take a step forward, guess what we do? We take a step forward so you can't go back. And so it's not just about business, it's about helping you be the best version of yourself.
So for businesses to really scale, the business owner has to move away from being a boss where they're micromanaging and telling people what to do, and basically then they have no life, to shifting into being a leader where they're empowering their team to stand up and take ownership so that they can take it and run with it, and the business owner actually then gets their life back.
And transformation is not an option when it comes to entrepreneurship. Transformation is required. As you grow your business, you get to a new level and you have to transform. As a person, as an organization, we're set apart because we help people transform. And that's probably our greatest challenge and our greatest strength.
Success is not created in a silo. Smart business owners know that if you want to get to the top, you have to work with someone that's been there, that's done it, that walks their talk. And so that you have this geo-force behind you and you get there in the fraction of the time. Having a coach is not just a luxury. It is one of the most important things that you can do to grow your business.